Welcome to the channel The Human Code, where human behaviors are explained. Have you ever wondered why you stay stuck in a bad job, a draining relationship, or a habit you know is holding you back? It's not a lack of willpower. It's not that you secretly enjoy your own misery. The truth is much simpler, and it lies deep within the ancient wiring of your brain. Your brain doesn't resist change because it thinks the change is bad. It resists change because it's unfamiliar. To your mind, anything new, even a positive life-altering opportunity, registers as a potential threat. That feeling of anxiety you get when you think about starting a new career, moving to a different city, or even just trying a new workout routine. That's your brain's safety alarm, blaring at full volume. It's the reason so many of us remain trapped in cycles we know are harmful. We choose the familiar pain over the unknown possibility of pleasure. In this video, we're going to explore why our brains are hardwired to resist progress, how this resistance shows up in our daily lives, and most importantly, how we can learn to work with our own minds to finally create the change we desperately want. To truly understand this internal battle, we need to go back in time. The human brain, the most complex object in the known universe, didn't evolve for happiness. It didn't evolve for fulfillment or for chasing your wildest dreams. It evolved for one primary purpose: survival. For our ancestors roaming the savannah, the world was a very dangerous place. Every unfamiliar rustle in the bushes, every strange new territory, every unknown berry could mean the difference between life and death. In that environment, predictability equaled safety. Sticking to the known path, eating the familiar foods, and staying with the familiar tribe was the best survival strategy. Anything new or uncertain was flagged by the brain as a potential danger. The brain developed a powerful system. When faced with uncertainty, it floods the body with stress hormones, heightening our senses and preparing us for a fight-or-flight response. This system was incredibly effective at keeping our ancestors alive. The problem is, we still have that same ancient operating system running in our modern world. Today, the danger isn't a saber-toothed tiger. It's the uncertainty of a job interview, the vulnerability of a first date, or the challenge of learning a new skill. Your brain, however, can't always tell the difference. It just registers unfamiliar and hits the panic button. So when you contemplate making a significant change, your brain doesn't see the potential for growth and happiness. It sees risk. It sees the possibility of failure, rejection, and instability, and in its relentless mission to protect you, it will do everything in its power to pull you back toward what feels safe and predictable. Even if that safe place is a dead-end job, an unhealthy lifestyle, or a state of quiet desperation. Your brain isn't your enemy. It's your overprotective bodyguard, still fighting ancient battles in a modern world. It's just trying to keep you safe, but its definition of safety is stuck in the past. This brings us to the core conflict that plays out in our minds every single day. The battle between comfort and growth. Comfort is the warm, cozy blanket of predictability. It's waking up at the same time, driving the same route to work, eating the same meals, and scrolling through the same social media feeds. There are no surprises in the comfort zone. It's a low-energy, low-risk state that your brain absolutely loves. It requires minimal cognitive effort and offers a sense of security. Growth, on the other hand, is the complete opposite. It's inherently uncertain. Starting a business, learning an instrument, or committing to a fitness plan involves stepping into the unknown. You don't know if you'll succeed. You don't know what obstacles you'll face. This uncertainty is a massive red flag for your survival-oriented brain. Given the choice, your brain will almost always steer you toward predictability over progress. This is the root cause of procrastination. When you have an important task to do, one that could lead to significant growth, your brain perceives the effort and uncertainty involved. Suddenly, cleaning your entire apartment or watching another episode of that show you've already seen feels incredibly appealing. It's not laziness. It's a neurological preference for the easier, more predictable path. This is also why short-term comfort so often triumphs over long-term success. The immediate pleasure of eating a donut feels more compelling than the distant, abstract goal of being healthy. The instant gratification of hitting the snooze button feels better than the long-term benefit of an early morning workout. Your brain is wired to prioritize immediate rewards and avoid immediate discomfort. It operates on a what feels good now principle, while growth requires you to delay gratification and endure temporary discomfort for a future payoff. The comfort zone isn't a physical place, it's a mental state, a prison built by your brain's own protective instincts. And breaking out requires a conscious decision to choose the uncertainty of growth over the false security of comfort. So, how does the brain actually convince you to stay put? It's incredibly clever. Your brain rarely screams, "I'm terrified of this new opportunity." That would be too obvious, and your conscious mind might override it. Instead, it disguises its fear as logic and reason. It becomes the ultimate master of excuses, presenting its anxieties as perfectly rational arguments. Think about the last time you considered making a big change. Did any of these thoughts pop into your head? This just isn't the right time. I'll wait until things settle down. What if I try and fail? Everyone will think I'm an idiot. It's safer not to even start. I'm too tired today. I'll have more energy and motivation tomorrow. I'll start later. Or maybe it sounds like, I need to do more research first. I'm not ready yet. Or, what if I'm not good enough? There are people who are way more qualified than me. These statements feel logical. They sound like responsible, cautious thinking. But in reality, they are often just fear responses wearing a mask of rationality. They are sophisticated delay tactics engineered by your brain to keep you in the safety of the familiar. It's an internal negotiation where your primitive brain is trying to outsmart your ambitious, forward-thinking self. It frames inaction as prudence and bold moves as recklessness. By creating a narrative of not yet or what if, it successfully keeps you paralyzed. This internal saboteur isn't malicious. It genuinely believes it's helping you avoid pain and failure. Recognizing these thoughts for what they truly are, not logical barriers, but emotional roadblocks, is the first critical step in learning to navigate past them. You have to learn to call your brain's bluff. When you hear that voice of doubt, you can learn to say, I hear you, I know you're trying to protect me. But this is fear talking, not logic. If this internal resistance is a universal human trait, how do some people, the high achievers, the innovators, the ones who seem to constantly reinvent themselves, manage to break through? The secret is that they don't eliminate the fear. High performers feel the same resistance, the same anxiety, the same pull toward comfort as everyone else. The difference is in how they respond to it. They have trained their brain to tolerate discomfort. Instead of viewing that feeling of anxiety as a stop sign, they've learned to see it as a compass, pointing them directly toward the area where they need to grow. They understand a fundamental truth. Discomfort is not the same as danger. While our ancient brain conflates the two, successful people have learned to separate them. They have, through practice, rewired their response to fear. One of the key strategies they use is taking action before they feel ready. They don't wait for certainty to appear because they know it never will. They move before the perfect plan is in place, before they have all the answers, before the fear subsides. They embrace the principle of action creates clarity. They know that momentum is the greatest antidote to fear. By taking one small, imperfect step, they begin to gather real-world feedback, which reduces uncertainty and builds confidence. This creates a positive feedback loop. Action leads to competence, which leads to more confidence, which fuels more action. They also reframe their relationship with failure. Instead of seeing it as a catastrophic endpoint, they see it as data. It's a necessary part of the growth process. They understand that you cannot learn to ski without falling down. You cannot build a successful business without making mistakes. By normalizing failure, they strip it of its emotional power and, in turn, quiet the brain's fear-based objections. They haven't found a magic trick to silence their protective brain. They've just become better listeners, able to distinguish the signal of genuine danger from the noise of growth-related discomfort. So, how can you start applying these principles in your own life? The goal is not to wage war against your brain. Fighting yourself is exhausting and counterproductive. The key is to understand its programming and work with it. You can begin to rewrite the code. The first and most crucial step is awareness. Recognize that your brain isn't broken. It's just doing its job, protecting you. The moment you understand this, you can stop judging yourself for feeling fear or for procrastinating. You can replace self-criticism with self-compassion. You can see the resistance not as a personal flaw, but as a biological function. Once you have this awareness, you can start making change a skill. And like any skill, it gets better with practice. Start small. The brain is less likely to trigger a massive fear response if the change is minor. Instead of vowing to go to the gym for 2 hours every day, commit to doing a 10-minute walk. Instead of trying to write a whole book, commit to writing 1 paragraph. These tiny actions are too small for your brain to register as a major threat. They fly under the radar of your internal security system. As you consistently take these small steps, you are teaching your brain a new lesson. See, this unfamiliar thing didn't kill us. It was actually okay. Maybe even good. You are building a new neural pathway, creating evidence that change can be safe and rewarding. This is how you make growth intentional. Instead of being a victim of your own brain's outdated survival instincts, you become a conscious collaborator. You acknowledge the fear, thank your brain for trying to keep you safe, and then gently and deliberately take the next small step forward. This is not about a single, dramatic leap out of your comfort zone. It's about slowly and consistently expanding its borders, one intentional step at a time, until the world of growth and possibility feels just as familiar and safe as the world you once were afraid to leave behind. Thanks for watching. If this video resonated with you, consider subscribing for more content on psychology and self-growth.